Tariki na mirongo Ibere na Isano na Ibere umutinyi no mutangani umwaka no yobwechiru Ibere mirongo Ibere na 5 no mumwanchu murigeria beno kwegena mbiyore ando siasole na gukwanire aboigo gukwarigani kanyora mangana maya Ekeonga Chinsa Isano na Ibere chabona bubaso literane Cyrus Nyakundi sensemeli y'imanyiriro nere fenesa nyabuke nagusabire tuskale. Ko chaka nige kiombe kyobochori ne chimbebe IBC nigo ritkoria rero kiabutukiro roboti igoro yobochori oboke oborobeire gochiago korekana se chinsemo nabo igobochori bonene bumwaka kwechiru Ibere mirongo Ibere na 5 na Ibere gukwana ase chiabisi chinene chikiombe kyo aso mochio Nairobi munyakerogo we kiombe kyo Erastus Etekone nigaterubuna okonyorwa kogochorwa kwa ba commissioner go swabisi nigo kwaringo muchando munene asobona ririra yogochikwene kibune kyombekyo ngochikere gwikiraniri emeroberi riganire nigo baige kyombekyo kene kibuna ngeche kurigereri chimbebe awune nchereye mo yo kweroberi asobochorio munene.
And as you are aware, we have already exceeded the constitutional timelines, which requires us to undertake the boundary delimitation between 8 to 12 years. So the last review was to be completed by March 2024, and those timelines have since passed. So we have outlined some of the constraints that have affected the boundary review process, and that's where we are. Absence of commissioners, as you are aware, after the previous commission left office, in 2023 January, the IBC remained without commissioners from that moment up to 11th July 2025 when these new commissioners assumed office, which is barely 6 months ago. And therefore, in the absence of commissioners, the Secretariat alone had to pause some of those activities that required policy decisions and oversight by commissioners. For example, the boundary review operations plan that I've spoken about required the commission to relook and to review, and in the absence of the commissioners, that policy paper could not have been extended. And of course, there were other activities that required policy directives. So that was one of the main constraints to the timely review of the boundaries, electoral boundaries. Number two, we also had a hurdle in the form of judicial invalidation of the census data of 2019. So there are active cases that have affected the validity of the census data for 14 out of 17 constituencies in the 3 counties of Garissa, Wajir, and Mandera. So the 2019 data cannot be used by IBC insofar as that case, that directive of the court is concerned. The Commission needs that data. It needs a valid and legally binding Kenya Housing and Population Census report for it to use that report and that data in determining what is called the population quota. The Commission continues to face litigation arising from the delays to conduct and complete the boundary review and delimitation exercise.
Ubarai we bungenene bokora wa hamono munagari we bungenene Moses Wetangula kubaterana hamona bajumbe nigo bwarairu musangerekano asensemo ya Naivasha county ya Nakurubune nchereyemo yokurigereria Getembetvnews keirurwe kubwatikana n'emichando hegegendete kubwatirani abana inche musangerekano iyo nigo korwa libaga gochi asaba chumbe bonsi basanga ebirangereri kubwatikana na mangana ringetobo chori bonene ujumi chisemi na boigo kurigereria bokarari omoroberi obwa magendero ase jibunge NCCDF.
As political activity inevitably intensifies, this retreat offers us an opportunity to pause reflect, and refocus. It allows us to step away from the politics that now dominate public discourse and to remind ourselves of our enduring constitutional responsibility of legislation, oversight, and representation of the people of Kenya with dignity and purpose. Honorable members, as we move closer to the election cycle, we must also remain alive to the political environment that naturally accompanies such a period. Experience teaches us that as political temperatures rise, positions harden, and competition intensifies. These dynamics are inevitable in a democratic society, but they must never be allowed to erode the integrity, dignity, and collegiality of this House.
Among the notable bills, honorable members, that the House considered in the previous session and subsequently enacted into law include the Government-Owned Enterprises Bill of 2025 and the Repeal Privatization Act of 2025. As indicated in the program again, this retreat provides us an opportunity to deliberate on utilization of the proceeds arising from the divestiture and to review the status of implementation of these statutes with a keen focus on the National Assembly's legislative and oversight roles. I've listened to those in the executive, and we have heard them commit that none of the money that will be raised out of the privatization process will go, one, into repaying debt, our public debt, two, to settling recurrent expenditure in our country. And it has been said it will not go to pay salaries.
Honorable members, our theme, securing a lasting parliamentary legacy, invites us to go above and beyond retrospection. It calls for honesty, collective planning, and deliberate action. It challenges us to develop practical strategies that will guide our work in the fifth session while laying a firm foundation for institutional transition. Over the coming days, we must interrogate our performance with candor. We must identify gaps, members. We must confront uncomfortable truths and agree on realistic strategies to finish this term strong and deliver meaningful outcomes for our constituents.
That this coming election, not just about the institution, even members, the issue of misinformation and disinformation will actually be a serious part of this next campaign, and regardless of the laws that we have, the damage precedes any action or consequence. So thank you for including it.
Waziri Hojenda Ekeonga baigo kareli bwana Han Cheptumo nigo haruro kubulia gocha abantu bonsi kobwaterana bunenchereyemo yogokora chisegi chiegenka kokwana chingeke chibo igoni garu kubulia gocha serikali sokwene kibuna kobekere nsemo chibese chiseine bunenchereyemo yogwikirani umurobiri yo asaba bwatani wa haruo kubulia gochi serikali kwene kibuna ngwigorere bituo bunenchereyemo yogokora chisegi echo.
The Ministry of Gender, Culture and Children's Services is dedicated to coordinating the implementation of this recommendation in partnership with all state actors and non-state actors. The work of this task force marks not the end, but the beginning of a renewed, resourced and relentless national effort to realize a Kenya where every citizen is safe and has dignity. I thank you, Your Excellency, for your steadfast leadership and your unwavering commitment to the empowerment and the protection of the people of Kenya. The campaign that you spoke about, where we go to every function, whether it is church, whether it is a school, whether it is any function, we will be speaking about it because we need our country to be safe. We need our women and girls to be free. We need our boys and girls to enjoy the leadership of His Excellency the President. I want to agree with you, Chair, that the only way to Singapore is to support the work the President is doing through the building of affordable housing, the markets, but we will not enjoy working in those places unless we do away with GBV and femicide.
We recommend a one-stop GBV recovery center in every of the 47 counties to take care of legal aid, medical care, psychological support, shelter services, etc. Data system, we recommend the creation of a national GBV and a femicide observatory. And we have listed the functions. Data collection is a problem here. We are saying that normalization of this violence is a direct threat to our constitutional promise of the right to life and human dignity. It is a threat to our economy. And Your Excellency, statistics from the National Commission on Gender and Equality show that this country loses nothing less than 46 billion Kenya shillings per annum because of GBV. That is a huge dent in our economy, which if we injected in our economy, the dream of Singapore could be real.
Igati yabara ibe kanisa korwa sorgongo rwa Mount Kenya monabo batani be kiama gia DCP korwa se county ya Nyeri na Murang'a nigo bagikirugoro chiguraburu chio chabete chikwaneke wase kanisa ya mohime ya Othaya county ya Nyeri rituko lya Jumapili barayabo nigo baruku bolia go chia sabara ina boiga bananchi korwa maskani go chia se chikanisa se baruku bolia chia se serikali ko bekense mo siasa na gokorera abananchi amagendero.
Nimeshangaa sana kutoa watu kanisani na tia ngasi. Na jambo la kuzangaza, mnasema si serikali. Mimi kwa macho yangu niliona gari Land Cruiser ikiwa pale. Na hata mtoto anajua Land Cruiser, gari ya serikali. Na hapa mnasema ati sio sisi. Mna investigate nini? Hapo hakuna kitu ambao mnaenda kufanya. Tunasema hivi, achaneni na mambo hayo. Watu wana uwezo na wanawaona. Muachane na haya mambo kama mnataka amani. Kwa sababu watu wamekasirika na kanisa limekasirika na kanisa ikikasirika Mungu anakasirika zaidi.
Kwa hivyo tunaungana na Wakenya wengine kusema tunapatia serikali yetu tukufu ikiongozwa na Mheshimiwa Rais masaa 24. Sababu hao watu ambao walifanya hilo tendo wanajulikana na wako kila pahali, wao wamechukuliwa hatua. Kama sio hivyo, mwananchi atatumia katiba kunjikinga na kujifanyia mambo yake, kwa sababu tutakuwa tumesema serikali imeshindwa na kutufanyia protection.
Ambia Rais, please, we call you to order. This country belongs to all of us. Wacha kiongozi atembee. Na hii tunashindwa, mbona mnaogopa Gachagua? Akienda pale mko na shida. Shinda yenu ni mnamuogopa mapema jameni. Give him a space. Amwezi nyang'anya mtu kiti alafu ati kwenda kuongea na wananchi pia ikuwe shida.
Sasa ile tulikuwa tunachaguana, tulikuwa tunaomba tuchaguane vizuri, tupate watu wa kutufanyia kazi. Kitu ya kwanza, hii siasa ziko hapa tu Kenya. Kitu naweza sema siasa kwanza wateke kando.
Tunasikia ati agachagua na nini. At the first stage hawakuwa na hiyo vita. Je, imeikia juu ya nini? Na sisi tuko imara huku. We have every peace. Kama sisi wakaaji wa huku tungefurahia sana kuona viongozi wetu wakiwa pamoja wakituletea maendeleo, ila wasiwe na mambo ya kuvutana.
Serikali nene kubwatirana hamwe na serikali ya kaunti ya Kakamega igo yabekire miroberi yo herache kurigerera bene hokuwa gwegorire asensemo ya ikoromani yo yabetike gusyukwa kubwatikana no kwanyuka kweliroba egento keirete abantu gosiria magimabo chingake cy'abana siasa nigo baburiwe kubwatirana na serikali yo asokwe nekuna moroberi yo ngwekiranure asibono mugavana we kaunti yo Fernandes Barasa arukubolia gocha sabana siasa kubekense mu siasa aso moroberi yo ulikiase wizara ya mining Hariki Mutai igene kibuno moroberi yo nigora chwikiranirwa ni company ya Shanta.
The government is going to take leadership and the community will be represented by an 11-member committee from various stakeholders, so that the issues of the communities and the landowners, including the miners, have been taken into consideration. As a county government, I want to state here and now that we support the mining activities in Ikolomani, and we also support Shanda Gold, which is a company that is doing mining. We believe that this activity is going to transform Kakamega County because the revenue sharing percentages are very clear, prescribed in law, so we don't have an issue. I want to really call upon all the political leaders to support the mining activities within this region, because that is the only way we are going to transform Kakamega County, and we don't want politicians to take advantage. Let us depoliticize the mining activities, because that is one way of making sure that our people benefit from this natural resource.
All the miners that are here now must coexist together with the commercial miner, because the law provides for, and we have identified a team from the ministry that is going to be here for the 2 weeks to map out all those miners that are operating, because we know they have been in this business for long. We know some of them will continue, because according to the estimates, Shanta is likely to mine for a period of 8 to 10 years. But thereafter, the miners will always continue mining. The small-scale miners will continue. So we do not want to cause any friction. We do not want to cause any conflict between them and the commercial miner. What we want is coexistence.
Since the enactment of 2016 Mining Act, we have never had a clear roadmap towards giving the miners permits. Today, it's absolutely clear. We have had a very straightforward engagement with all the stakeholders in this Kakamega County. And I am happy that the State Department has officers.
Na gwikiraga bumwancho morigereria no kuja kurira mangana maya Ekeonga Chinsa Isano na Ibere chia bono boso kurende chikoraga Chinsa ikome ningirane nkomanya senchira yo wengeliterane Cyrus Nyakundi asense melio imanyirio nigarenge fenesa nyabo kemorobelio 5 on 5 igogo swembeo asegekege kekero mutwe nera Wiza Crown na DJ Kripa na gusabire twaruburigereria borobye.
Karibu Borabu Technical Training Institute, kituo cha maarifa, ubunifu na ujuzi wa vitendo kwa maendeleo ya kesho. Katika Computing and Informatics Department, tunatoa kozi za kisasa zitakazokuweka mbele kiteknolojia, ICT, Computer Programming, Cyber Security, pamoja na Digital Animation and Media. Katika Building and Civil Engineering Department, tunakuandaa kuwa mtaalamu wa kujitegemea kupitia kozi za Plumbing na Building kwa ujuzi wa vitendo unaohitajika sokoni. Kwa wale wanaopenda umeme na teknolojia ya mawasiliano, Electrical and Electronic Engineering Department inatoa Electrical Engineering, Power Option, Electronic na Telecommunication. Ndani ya Institutional Management Department, tunakuza vipaji na ubunifu kupitia Fashion Design and Clothing Technology, Hair Dressing na Beauty Therapy. Katika Health Sciences Department, tunajali afya ya jamii kwa kutoa kozi za Health Records, IT na Community Health. Na katika Business Studies, tunakuandaa kwa ulimwengu wa biashara kupitia Human Resource, Business Management na Supply Chain. January Intake 2026 inaendelea sasa. Jiandikishe leo na chukua hatua ya kwanza kuelekea mustakabali wako wenye mafanikio. Borabu Technical Training Institute ipo kando ya barabara ya Kisii hadi Ikonge, karibu na mji wa Kibirigo. Kwa maelezo zaidi, piga simu 0746211764 au 0727433205 au 0725533426. Tembelea tovuti yetu www.borabutiti.ac.ke. Borabu Technical Training Institute, Technical Skills for Development.
Enyagitari ya HK International Medical Center nige gotoka imyomo cyobosongo nigo yakira sengencho yao nabo igo nige bwate abanyagitari bo bwato bomanyi bwaigoro kegima abo baokora meremo yabo keboikeranu
incheno manyagitari irini kemma obanyi korwa senyagitari ya HK International Medical Center irega igo muchito bosongo
Boigo, nyagitari ya nige bwate chi machines chingiya, echichigo tumeka koringoria maroire au asomo bero na mariogo onsi alioraganye ase obobwene bwao.
Nabonta getoko tanga ase nyagitari ya ito nigo toko kara scanning yo mobero mogima, yani toko nyorokaso monobweke songo nga full body check up. Igonta getoko tanga nigo toko ligere likorwa somo twe paka magoro inse, tualigere the internal organs chia uchons pina kichigo function, toko nyora chirichia zero function ya abnormal tuako amariogo.
Amaroire bakorwaria ngamona diabetes gose oboroire bwe sukari, high blood pressure, oboroire bwe chinyigo gose kidney, asthma, arthritis, brucellosis, infertility in men and women, hormonal imbalance, family planning, uterine fibroids, oboroire bwe stroke, prostate enlargement, stomach ulcers, chi allergies, cancer.
Nonya no mochando bwa maino amaina ali yako na gusumbu anto bwata mariogo ya maino nto bwata mariogo ya marwaire yemeki emeki eri utichete emeki ngo tichere ya chikolento bokongwa senkoro igonga mariogo ali yago tichore emeki gusako igore emeki yagera manyinga tarabi anto nyabwate nto bwata mariogo ali yago akorusia machando yechi joint chiri chikobuga borwaire bolito korokanga osteoporosis na borobuno borwaire